Hey everyone, Tim Clark here, and today I have another fresh video for everybody, and it's extra fresh because today we are shooting outside, and it's definitely not cold out here at all. Okay, I want to jump inside real quick, we'll warm up, and then we'll come out and hopefully get this done pretty quick. All right. And we'll just do a quick whip transition here out of this. All right, so today we're talking about how to improve your talking head videos. So literally videos like this where there's a head on camera talking to the camera. So whether you're like a YouTuber and you're talking to the camera yourself, or maybe you're filming an interview where somebody's talking just off camera, any video where the main content is just somebody talking and you kind of want to dress it up a bit, make it a bit more engaging, I'm going to be going over some tips today on how to do that. Not to say that there's anything wrong with having, just you on camera talking to the camera. That can be totally fine. It's totally okay to just be on camera, but there are some things that you can do to improve that. So let's jump into it and look at the first tip. Okay, first ingredient to improving your talking head videos is to shoot in 4K. So shooting in 4K allows you, as long as you're outputting a 1080p video, HD video, if you shoot in 4K, then when you're editing the video, you actually have the option to punch in 2 times, and then all of a sudden you have a close-up shot as well. So it is still, just your head on screen talking to the camera, but you do have that option to punch in and kind of just give a bit of a different framing for the viewers and for the edit. And it actually helps a lot to cover up mistakes and stuff too. So if you make a fumble in your speech or something, you can just cut to the close-up and then you have that as well. So it's very useful. Second ingredient to improving your talking head videos is to shoot with 2 different cameras. Now this is definitely a bit of a different feel. Having a second angle can potentially make your videos feel a bit more like professional, or almost like they're supposed to be like part of a documentary or something. So definitely be aware of the different vibe that's going to give your videos. But if you do have a second person or 2 tripods and you set up 2 different cameras, 2 different angles, once again, it's just something else to cut to keep the edit going, to keep people engaged. So it's not just one shot of you for the entire video. Okay, that's 2 ingredients. Got a few more for you, but we'll just transition quickly here to another location. Okay, yet another way that you can kind of add things to your talking head videos is to add in B-roll. And B-roll is pretty much just cutting away to anything else, doesn't matter what it is. Ideally something that makes sense, but just cutting away to anything to kind of supplement your talking head footage with other footage. So for example, if I was doing a video on like a piece of gear, like a camera, I would maybe cut away to a shot of that camera to, explain what I'm talking about, and also just to switch it up, right? And, speaking of B-roll, it can kind of be hard sometimes to have motivated B-roll. Sometimes what you're talking about just doesn't warrant cutting away to it, and you don't really know what to cut away to. But speaking of that, let's just grab some tea here and warm up a little bit. All right, that was some tasty tea. Next tip is get a nice looking background. So, you can't always get a great looking background, but when you can, it's another thing that can add to your talking head videos, kind of add a bit of interest. Another thing is you just don't want a background that looks bad, right? And I actually have some tricks that I do. So a lot of my YouTube videos, I shoot in just a little room with a lot of kind of, blank white walls. And I kind of want to, dress that up a bit. So I've done things where I'll put a white reflector disc behind me to either cover up my bed or cover up just messy stuff. I'll just put the white disc behind me, and that kind of helps with the background. Another thing I do is I'll shoot against the white wall, but I'll shine enough light on it from the windows and from setting up lights that wall is completely blown out. So it just looks like a big white expanse behind me, and I'm not as bright as the wall, so I'm not overexposed. But that's just kind of another trick that you can use to kind of get a nice clean white image behind you. You know, besides that, if you don't have a lot of options for backgrounds, you can use a green screen and literally put, you know, whatever you want behind yourself. That works too. But yeah, that's the next tip, is just get a nice background. Pay attention to what's in your background. Make sure it's, you know, at least not looking horrible. Next tip, we'll sit down here. Next tip is adding motion graphics to your videos. So you can add, you know, motion graphics as simple as adding some text to your video, where, you know, to illustrate maybe the main points you're making in that video, you can add as text on the screen. And that can even help you communicate your message better. It kind of really sends it home for people when they actually see the text and they really kind of understand what you're saying. And it's just another thing, you know, to add to the video to kind of spice it up a bit. You could even add like a full motion graphics sequence to your video and cut away to like an entire scene of motion graphics. But that can work too. And that's about it. The last tip is really just the walking. So walking and talking is another thing you can do, which is like the majority of this video was walking and talking. And I was kind of doing that as another way to illustrate that that's how you can dress up your talking head videos, is literally just walk and talk as well. That's pretty much the last tip. I will say, to get that walking and talking done does require another person. So I've had actually Bassim behind the camera here doing all the camera motion and the camera moves. So big shout out to Bassim. He's actually a great photographer. I'll put his Instagram in the description below. Definitely check out his Instagram. And that's it. So I hope this video is very helpful to everybody watching. Thank you for watching. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you want to get more videos like this. Give the video a like, all that good stuff. And we'll get out of the sun, get out of the cold. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.